What do you mean? Where would there normally be ships?
Right here, right there. You can see the cranes right here. You should see.
Can I roll this down?
Yes, you should see up top of 3 ships just docked. There's no ships right here in the water. You should have seen the ships. They say that like that cruise one should be ships on the other side. Right here looks empty as well. You see those middle rows right now? Let's see. There should be containers on that middle row. It's empty by those 2 trucks over there, just parked. You should see containers there. There's nothing. Slowly.
All praises growing and as the Yahweh Shai Bahasham Raka Hakodash. And the honors to the apostles and to the elders of great millstone, peace and salutations to the elect. I'm a brother Mark from the Great Millstone Jamaica camp with a lesson to feed the elect through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shai. Now, quick, I want to say a couple of things on this whole tariff situation where we are seeing that shelves are about to be empty. And through the spirit, Great Millstone, starting with the apostles on down, we have always been speaking about supply chain issues that we have seen, that we saw, that was in building. And it's gonna cause these Babylonians to be mad. But not just these Babylonians, but the people around the world that benefited from the trade. Yeah, I think that's the way I should say it, from trade in Babylon, because whether you like it, yes or no, whether you like Babylon, yes or no, America is that hub for trading. And trading is what makes America great. Now, starting with our people, slavery, and China has become great also by trading. But the thing is that these economic, they are, what should I say, intertwined with each other. So therefore, when America goes down, they themselves, like China, they're gonna go down, and that's prophecy. That's all nations gonna go down. People would say that China is the next ruler, but not according to prophecy. Not according to prophecy. So this is Ezekiel 28 verse 1, and the word of the Lord Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tarrifs, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God. And remember, this is speaking about Esau, this is speaking about them proud devils, right? It's Edomite. We can also throw Trump in there, Plus, remember the scriptures, the scripture in Daniel, the book of Daniel, it speaks about, they look more stout than their fellows. Definitely, Trump is that. He's that person. Ain't nobody know about tariffs like me. Ain't nobody know about this like me. Ain't nobody know about that like me. That's it. You're witnessing the scriptures being played out before your eyes, live and direct. And like he reads again, verse 2, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tarrifs, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am the Most High. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, in the midst of the people. Yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. This is what the scripture says. With thine wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast got the riches, right? And hast gotten gold into thy treasures by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, which is trade, hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. And that's the reason why Trump would seem to be eligible in his mind to be posing 25% tariff, 125% tariffs, 145% tariffs on China, which basically is now backfiring and is screwing the economy even faster, which is by design. Because the US dollar is so strong, they themselves have to bring it down, even though it has so many debt attached to it. Verse 6, it says, therefore, thus say the Lord power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their sword against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. And we see where the BRICS nations, they are doing that. And they are working to go around the US dollar. And the mere fact that they have weaponized the dollar with what you call it? Oh shit, man. Oh, do I forget? Like, brothers can help me out. It's called, man. Like, sanctions. Is it sanctions? Yeah. Like, they would put sanctions on countries and stuff like that. Tariffs, whatever. That's dangerous for these countries holding US bonds, so they are trying to go around it. However, if they are to get rid of the US dollar altogether, all currency is gonna fail. Literally, all currency is gonna fail. Which is to bring in a new world order of currencies, and it's gonna be crazy out here. This is going to happen with a lot of pain attached to it. So I have an article right here from where is it? From Yahoo. It says plunging US imports from China could lead to shortages, expert warns. Right? Article published 29 Tuesday, yesterday, 29, 2025, and it reads, shipments of goods from China to the US are dropping sharply with the Trump administration's steep tariffs in place, leading major US retailers to warn about impending supply shortages. The trade war between China and the US has escalated over the past few weeks, with each nation hiking its import duties multiple times in a tit-for-tat, while Trump has given other countries a 90-day pause on the tariffs as their leaders pledge to negotiate with the US. China has remained the exception. I remember Trump come out and saying that, I'm telling you, these countries are trying to kiss my ass. Something like that. Remember? But China is saying no, No. These tariffs, they are definitely hurting China. Just as though they're hurting the US, because they're not able to do free trade. If that's the word I'm looking for. They're not able to do trade as they would. That's the reason why China is saying, look, we're gonna give you, we're gonna allow you without visa if you're just gonna come into our country and just buy goods to go around the US. And that's still that's hurting, because the US is a major consumer nation. So it's, what should I call it now? It's bad for both. And that's the reason why I say if the American economy go down, all of the economy is gonna go down. China, you name it, Russia, all, what should I call it, man? All these economies are interweaved with the mighty dollar. You know, it says the trade war between China and the US has escalated over the past few weeks, with each nation hiking its import duties multiple times in a tit for tat with Trump. Has given other countries, there we go. Where there's a US import duties on Chinese product now stand as high as 145%. China, meanwhile, has hit back with 125 tariffs on US products. And this is called protectionism. Yeah, this is called protectionism, which I'm going to read it very soon. What is protectionism? It says, at the port of Los Angeles, which along with the port of Long Beach, receives roughly 40% of all imports from Asia. Shipments last week were down 10%, and that's bad. Compared with the same period 1 year earlier, the number is expected to keep falling. This is not looking good, bruv. So expect the rising of goods, the prices of rising prices for goods. I saw something about Trump against Bezos. I didn't get to go into it, so I can't speak on it as yet. About Amazon and the prices for on Amazon aren't being adjusted. So something, I just got the headline. I'm not sure of what's taking place, but these are the reasons why stuff like that are happening. You know, we have to be in the loop, because we're in that time. We're in the time of the end. You know, and great pains are about to hit its place, and we have to be made spiritually prepared for these uncomforts that we call it, that are ahead, like the outage in Spain. Within 8 hours, we call it, the shelves are empty. But like for example, if we have a 8 hour outage in Jamaica, the shelves aren't empty, because we understand. You know, we understand that's a regular. So these blows gonna have to come hard. You know, get people running up and down. You know, people looking on the internet, seeing what's taking place in other places, prepping and stuff like that. But that won't help you, right? So let me just get what is protectionism. You know, protectionism is an economic policy where governments restrict imports from other countries, to promote domestic industries. This is often achieved through measures like tariffs, quotas, and other regulations. The goal is to shield local businesses and jobs from foreign competition. So, basically, this is what Trump has been saying, you know. We need to have it made by Americans for America and ship it around the world. So these taxes are to get you to buy American-made produce, which is going to cost you a lot, because the economy already get screwed and there's no turning back any at all. So like, yeah. So this is where we are in prophecy. I've been suffering with my allergies for quite some time now. So anyway, right. So this is what is taking place now. So let me get Revelation 18, man. See, because ultimately, let me just get to the point. Alright, let me start the first one. Ultimately, man, America is going to be destroyed. That is the be-all and the end-all of it. All this that's taking place is making the nations to hate the war even more. And when these nations hate the war more, see, even EU nations, European nations, they themselves going to burn America, you know, because of these policies that America, you know, who's more stout than their fellows, they're pushing, which is hurting their economy on wide scales. Plus, as you said, the man who's stout, whose look is more stout than his fellows, what's his name? DJ Trump. You know, he's saying some things to get these nations to hate America and even himself some more. So, Right, so Revelation 1:18 verse 1, it says, "And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." This is when America get destroyed. You know? It says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxing rich through the abundance of her delicacies." Exactly. As I've been saying, that all nations are, intertwined with their economic policies, and that's the reason why they just can't up off the dollar, just like that. And it's not the Vatican City, right? Verse 4, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." So that's the Lord, man. "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." And this is America not being touched. Pearl Harbor was, let me not go there, but they weren't touched. Verse 8, it says, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning." So when America get destroyed, even these nations that trade with her, they're gonna say, "Oh shit, we used to make crazy money, when we were trading with these people." But that's gonna come to an end. Like, I mean, 1 hour, as the scripture says, it's gonna come to an end quickly. And it's rightly so. And as I said before, that's the fulfilled prophecy. Where was I? Verse 9 again says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore." Where they going to go in slavery? "The merchants of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all that fine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble." Countertops, tables, chairs, fabrics, you name it. "And cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and the souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple, and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as strayed by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what it is like unto this great city? And we've been saying this is not Vatican City. This is Babylon the Great. This is speaking about America. What it is like America, in other words, because this is where nations build their wealth. This is where China trade mostly to become a great empire over there in the eastern hemisphere. Yeah? Most of the things that you have in your house is made in China. Even if the tag is saying something else, most of them were made in China. And that's the reason why China has become a great economic nation to be reckoned with. And they're not bound by children labor laws and stuff like that. Everybody's working. Everybody's working right around the clock. So that's it. So when America got knocked, it's gonna affect China. It's gonna affect Mexico. It's gonna affect all the nations of the world. It says where was I again? Verse 19. It says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein you were made rich and all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Right? Rejoice over her, no heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High to avenge you on her. And this is what we lust for. This is what we yearn for. To be avenged on a nation, or avenged on a place like this, America. It says, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, GMS, and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more. And so we won't be hearing no who none of that bullshit, man. It shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, because this is going to be a place for creatures, right? And in the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, biggest desert, and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by the sorceries of our nations, by the sorceries were all nations deceived, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. And this is it. The Lord is about to get rid of this place, because that place is our prison house. And now our captivity is coming to an end. So he's just going to get rid of the prison, get you others in captivity, and put you, in slavery over there in Israel. You understand? So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, I thought that I should say a couple of things on that. So shalom.